Just cool that it was just happened to be on this. But it's time for another exciting episode of Horror with Sir Sturdy. And tonight, the movie we're reviewing is Veronica. As you can see, we traveled to Spain for this one. I wish we could afford to in real life, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. Which I want to talk. You know how fun that would be?
I chose this movie.
You know how fun that would be, though? Like, say if it's like, okay, so we're watching this movie. So not only are we going to be, are we going to travel to Spain to watch this movie and have some good food, we're going to also be reviewing it from there. That would be awesome. That would be fun as shit. And Trevor would probably have a hell of a lot more kids if we're doing all this damn traveling like that. One in every country. That's where he like. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's actually nice to be in Spain because it's getting more love than it used to. But Spain has a huge history in cinematic horror. And also it has, in certain ways, the horror films that came out of Spain, even up to today, but in the 60s, really had to use the genre to get by a fascist dictator, Franco, until he died. So horror, which was also a popular thing because it was escapist, versus Italy, where the horror films didn't do great. Like people like Paul Nassi, when his movies came out, it was an event, and he'd make a movie that would reference, like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Vladimir Dolinsky. But within that, you could also be making statements, because horror is one of the best ways to basically make social commentary, and the idiots running the show might not pick it up. And Spain's really good with that.
That's awesome. And yeah, with this movie, I guess we'll dive into our early ratings and then go from there. But James, what do you give this one?
I'm giving this one 7.5.
7.5. How about you, Trevor?
I'm gonna go with 7.5 too. And that's not a bad thing at all. It definitely after watching the film, I'm definitely watching its sequel, Sister Death, which was also
I didn't know there was a part 2.
I didn't know that until I started watching the movie and went, oh, the next one on the list on Netflix is Sister Death. So in the sequel, you follow the story behind the nun that can't see.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Yeah, kind of veering in that kind of Conjuring nun kind of thing in Spain.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's awesome.
But what I have to say is this was a really tight, a lot of references to Euro cinema, but most of all, you really cared about people. And it did a beautiful job of kind of subverting what you expect. When you see the poster and everything, you almost assume it's going to veer into like that exorcist zone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It actually has more in common with Poltergeist. And the adolescent thing plays a huge role in
it. Yeah, and when I first watching the movie, you see the sister taking care of her siblings, bringing them to school and all this. You don't see their mother for a little bit, so I'm just like, I mean, not too far into the movie because you end up seeing her sleeping, and you're still like, what the hell's like? Why isn't she? You know what I mean? Why isn't she getting up and getting her kids ready for
that
school?
way for a lot of people all over the world.
No. Well, I no. Trust me, I understand.
That's not a bad thing. No. Her mother owns a business.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is once you get into it more, you understand that her mother owns a business, and a lot of the time she's working overnight. So that also explains, the stuff that happens at night when their mom's not there, and especially the one scene where they're all standing behind their sister, all standing behind Veronica, and she's holding the crucifix. And then her mother comes in the door, like, what the hell's like? What the fuck's going on? What are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, that scene in itself speaks a great deal that Veronica flat out said, because her mother comes back, she's angry, she's tired, and Veronica just looks at her and goes, "I have no help." I'm alone.
Yeah.
So when I mentioned about the poltergeist in adolescence, there have been a lot of studies over the years that poltergeist phenomena tends to happen with a home that has multiple siblings,
Mhm.
and one of the siblings is going into adolescence,
Oh.
usually female. Now, that is attributed to various things. Some people say it's an energy, that. But adolescence represents a change of life, a
Yep.
change of growing, a change of, responsibility. And that's adolescence. And adolescence is also a very easily manipulated, pushed to an opinion time because you're not sure about yourself. Hence, you can summon a demon if you want to go into the spiritual side of it, or you are more prone to absorb things around you and make a fantasy a reality. Very much like it possibly was for Veronica or the young woman who it was based on, which didn't die in the same way. There are a lot of differences between the actual case that it's on. But I think that it really does a good job approaching another element that potentially brings what people feel are phantasms or whatever at that time period is this character, Veronica, whether she wanted to or not. It's not anybody's fault per se. We don't know what happened to her dad. So no matter what, but
Mhm.
to survive, she has to take the place of a parent of 3 children, and unfortunately she has to share the fact that she still has not cycled, and that's where that adolescence and unknown phenomena thing seems to connect, and a lot of people try to point to that, and that's not, yeah, it's whatever it is, but that's also when mental illness tends to show itself first, is in
Yep.
adolescence. So that's why I said this film has a lot more in common with Poltergeist than anything it kind of implies. Because that is the thing. Now that was a situation where, much younger, but still the basic concept.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really,
Yeah.
really, really interesting.
I
Yeah,
mean,
basically, she
what
was
would
forced to
happen
grow
if,
up too
yeah.
fast.
What you were saying, James? Sorry.
She was forced to grow up too fast, basically. She under a lot of
Well,
stress and everything.
here's the thing. A lot of people in this world are forced to grow up too fast.
Oh yeah.
I think for Veronica, what it was, and the mysterious element of this movie is the magical realism and everything. But I think it is almost like going into, I have a daughter that's 15. So going into adolescence and then discovering you start having elements of what is actually schizophrenia. But you're in a Catholic school, which she was in the film. You're literally the head of the household most of the time. Imagine if you started thinking about your father, which for some reason there's no talk of them, and somebody says, "Hey, let's do the Ouija board thing." You probably do it. The problem is, in a narrative like this, the Ouija board opened the door for whatever dark spirit, or you could say whatever mental illness Veronica had through the shock was kind of left out.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of how I read the film.
Yeah, me too.
Uh, so,
This was
Yeah.
this film here. Well, first I gave it a 7.5 as well. And again, like both of you said, well, I guess you said it more so, Trevor. When it first started out, or just hearing the movie and knowing, not even knowing what it is, just looking at that and looking at, I'll say, the seeing the cover, where she's kind of screaming to the sky or whatever. I'm like, all right, is this gonna be like some sort of Exorcist type? Which I'm not mad at it if it is, but is it gonna be that? And if it is, how well are they going to do it? It wasn't
Mhm.
that, and now knowing that, I am a little happy that it wasn't that. I'm not mad that you know what I mean. I'm happy that it wasn't that, and I love what they did with it. I love what they did with it. I love how with a lot of foreign films,
Mhm.
you could a lot of it is religious based in a sense.
Mhm.
A lot of it
Oh
ties
yeah.
into religion in one way or another, which I think is
Well,
cool
Spain
because
is still to this day a deeply Catholic country.
well, that's what I was
Yeah.
getting at next. Is what I think is cool about it is like it takes that realism from their culture and then kind
Mhm.
of ties it in with the horror of the 9 times out of 10 it's supernatural or something in that aspect of it.
Mhm.
Possession as well, which I think kind of all kind of goes hand in hand. And I'm just like, this is it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting story, but then the way the girls playing with the Ouija board, doing the little thing with the bottle, or yeah, the Ouija board and the thing breaks.
Mhm.
That's very realistic. Like you'll see that group of boys, group of girls, whatever. It seems like it's more. It seems like it's more so with girls. I'm not saying boys wouldn't do it, but
Mhm.
just that thing right there, just it's like I believe that. Like this movie, a lot of this movie was believable in a lot of ways, which I think really does it justice and really helps. They didn't really do too much that you're just like, all right, that's a little too far fetched. You know what I mean?
Oh no, no, I think they did a beautiful job of maintaining realism. Okay, so the director, Paco Plaza, is best known for directing and writing the first three Rec films. And also, he was a consultant on the remake Quarantine for the United States. He's almost in a kind of way like a James Wan kind of person
Oh,
in Spain right now. His films are really, really hot, and he wants to continue making horror films. Um, some of his early shorts are pretty gross,
mhm.
um, but he's a really solid filmmaker. And you talk about believability. How about Veronica? What do you think of that performance?
I thought it was good. I thought it was really
Mm,
good. Like I mean, shit.
that was awesome.
What if
A
I
scene
told
that
you she was? What if I told you she was rather young and this was the first time she ever was in front of a camera?
I think she did a really good job.
Wow.
Sandra Escanena.
Wow.
It's her first role,
Awesome.
and
That's
she is
awesome.
unbelievable.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the freaking one that stands out to me the most, maybe not the most, but a lot, is the scene where it's her and her siblings sitting at the table eating. The two siblings are playing rock paper scissors to see who has to go
Mhm.
get the milk, and the way she just like the whole time just shaking, then she gets the food.
Don't get your
Yeah,
finger.
Mhm.
but
Exactly.
and the kids see it. They don't know what's going on. They're just standing there, kind of scared. The one sister, she's looking at her and drops a carton of milk, and then she kind of just, she sees her, stops. She spits up her food and all that, and then okay, clean this up. At that, but just because that whole like shaking it, that's acting, and
Mhm.
that was awesome. Like that was done very well to where you knew something was wrong. You knew something was going on. You knew, like even in her eyes, the scene was sold, and that's one
Mhm.
thing I always look for in movies, especially well, actually any type of movie, but is how the actor sells the emotion with their facial expressions. Because there's a lot of times where you can watch a movie and someone's supposed to be mad, but they have the same facial expression for like every emotion throughout the whole damn
Mhm.
movie, and that takes away quite a bit. Not like a whole chunk where this movie sucks, but it does take
Mhm.
away. And at the
Mhm.
same time, when people are really, really, really good at that, it adds so much to
Mhm.
the scene. It
Oh,
adds so
she
much to the story.
truly looks exhausted and truly looks just baffled, and you believe it.
Yeah,
Um, at first, I kind of at the ending, which more than implies most likely it was a massive schizotypal incident that lasted for 3 days, and but you believe that something is there with Veronica. You want there to be something there because she's getting pushback automatically because she can't process as a 15-year-old. It's 15. It's
Yeah.
16. Most people really don't get mature until about 35. But still, that's a kid.
Holy
So
shit!
her
How long is?
mother's not even allowing her to process these basic things. And if you watch it leading up to her killing herself and the possibility of it just being her,
Mhm.
she does the same thing. She connects the dots. You can connect the dots and go, if I took myself out of being Veronica, but I'm watching this right now, could this be Veronica? Well, yeah, it really could be. But this is the wonder of this film. You really don't want it to be her.
Yeah.
And it was a disappointment, but also the slap in the face that the film really needed to give you.
Hmm.
Yeah, that, its course is up in the air and plays on the horror aspect. But when it really comes down to brass tacks, the character of Veronica, yeah, I think it was not. I would. I don't want to say it wasn't a paranormal thriller. It was a paranormal thriller, and
Hmm.
there are these wonderful things. I don't know the name of the actress, but there is an older sister, nun, at the school that Veronica and her siblings attend. She is blind to the point that she has no retina or anything, and she's called Sister Death. She's also a chain smoker that loves to hide in the basement. She
Yes.
actually reminded me of a nun I had in my elementary school, named Sister Dimitri. Now, if you would have had Sister Death and you took all of that minus the going out back and having a cigarette occasionally, and it was just nice as anything, it was Sister Dimitri. Like Sister Dimitri would have been like Sister Death's like other sister. So I'm watching this thing the whole time going, oh, this is creepy. But this is also reminding me of Sister Dimitri, who at like 85 was still doing missionary work in Latin America.
Oh,
So,
so
yeah.
Not that kind of missionary, James.
Mhm. But you also, this is the thing. Okay, so it was set back in 1991. It's a period piece. It was made in 2017. Um, it is a religious school in a predominantly religious, well, a heavily religious country,
Hmm.
especially in Catholicism. All the things that Veronica finds herself dealing with are not things that the church would want the school necessarily to explain. They'll just, oh, yeah, oh, 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 just eat some more red meat. Yeah, for that school then, there was not the support that could have gone, ooh, we need to get you to an ER.
Yeah.
Because that's what they should have done after she collapsed. And then, especially if she reported to anybody about the seizure. But the collapse situation, she should have been sent to the ER either way.
Agreed.
But the school's probably trying to hide it because nothing bad happens here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
And it does make you think, like, damn, like you're absolutely right about everything you just said. She should have been sent to the hospital quite a few times in this, but we got to make this look good. One
Mhm.
and two, it's probably just the devil's work anyway. So you know, bringing her to the hospital is not going to help.
Oh,
And
it's a
in this case,
frightening film.
there was no one to bring her to the hospital. She was all alone with the kids.
Well, that that that
Like,
that
nobody even noticed
that's
because it's
that adds
always
to
at
that
night.
narrative. So she
Yeah.
has no parental figure,
yeah,
or guidance figure that she feels comfortable dealing with any of the feelings she's going through.
Mm-hmm.
And to be thrown into, and for quite some time, about a year and a half, let's say, because that's
hmm,
when apparently her father died, um, thrusted into, a main caregiver role, out of necessity. So being a teenager is fucking confusing enough. So you have that. You have just being a teenager, having to be a parent when you have no idea. You're literally just flying by the seat of your pants, and possibly, just possibly, you are so affected by other things that are sentimental that when your mental illness cracks, possibly schizophrenia, it just goes like that.
Yeah.
And there's nobody there to go, hey, we need to get this person to a hospital.
Mhm.
There's nobody there. And it's not her mom's fault. Her mom's just trying to
no.
keep him alive.
No,
But
not
this is
not
the
at all.
thing that I think makes it even more that it's not really this horrible monster, is that so many times all Veronica or the kids had to do was tell somebody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that made me even think more that it's like, oh, I don't know. Well, I
All right,
really do.
so
I think it is an allegory for that. But as I said before, adolescence in a poltergeist setting is a theme you're going to find a lot.
so this was based on a true case at one point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did happen in
Okay.
1991. I don't think she might have had sisters. She died later. It was unexplained. Um, there
Okay.
was it is best known for being the only official police document
Mhm.
ever
I was gonna say
submitted
that.
by a detective that said paranormal activity seen.
Mhm.
And that caused a stir in itself. And supposedly he did see something. Now, what exactly Officer Romero saw,
We don't know.
I don't know. For some reason, all the really, really interesting, like deep dive information about this film is in Hindi. Don't ask me why, but I stumbled upon like 5 videos explaining Veronica, and they were all in Hindi.
Wow.
So this could have been a film that did really, really well for Netflix India.
Maybe. Hopefully. I hope so. I
It
really
was
hope
really
so.
fun. I like the
Mhm.
dark tones,
Mm-hmm.
and I like how they show like the hands coming out of the bed,
Mhm.
grabbing her.
Yeah.
See, I love paranormal movies,
Mhm.
demonic movies. I like when they do this. Like Exorcist is great, but you never see the demon.
Mhm.
She is the demon, right? So
Mhm.
I like how they had this, like she's seeing shit, like the mental illness part you're saying. But if
Mhm.
it was this paranormal part, they still. I like how she sees it. No one else
Yeah.
can. She sees it. It's moving. She's trying to save her
She sees
siblings.
shadows.
Shadows. Yep. Then the bed. She lifts up the
Yeah.
beds, and there's like a black smudge
Mhm. Now
on shit.
that is actually something from the original case.
The bed.
Really?
There were a few beds that were weird, and I think it was somewhat unexplained.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So I like. I think that's another thing that got me with this movie because I like when movies are they say they're based on real cases, except for Blair Witch line fucks. But anyways, back to this.
No, but that is its own showmanship in itself.
But
no,
I like the style.
you. I get what you're saying though, James. Like if a movie says it's based or loosely, but you like when there's actually something pulled from the realism of
Yeah.
the movie, even if it's
Mhm.
not like the darker parts, but it's like this bed or this room really look like, or just something, something small, whatever the case may be, versus just this is based on true events, and it's like the only thing that's based on true events is the fucking name of the person. Like that's
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and it's if
Y-
that.
I don't think that to add on kind of what you're saying is I don't think Spanish cinema, at least Spanish horror cinema, gets the credit that it really deserves. Okay, so this was made in 2017. We've all seen a lot of Spanish horror
Oh
that
yeah,
has come out on Netflix, and some of it is older. It's within like 10 to 20 years. But you look at like Veronica. This is my first time watching this film. I felt that cinematography and everything, even though it was even a period piece, reminded me a great deal of like Evil Dead Rising or Evil Dead Rise, pardon me, or even the remake that was done by the French duo. And also, I see it in a lot of contemporary American or North American horror. That like there's a start in the like 2000s or whenever before it got really really big, that it visually did like there if you mix J horror and Spanish horror that kind of veered into itself. If you look at contemporary horror in the United States, it's kind of a mixture of those two things aesthetically, in my opinion.
Mhm. This is my
Nice.
second time watch. The first time I watched it, I think it was during COVID, where you're locked in a house.
Well, you need to watch the sequel with me now.
I gotta watch the sequel. I didn't know
I
there was
gotta
a
see it
sequel.
my
And
damn
it's
self.
about the
Shit.
crazy chain smoking nun. It's got to be great,
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I hope so. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta see a sequel too.
It's Paco Plaza, written and directed. So, I mean,
Okay.
the Rec films are good. After 3, it is, but that's when he stopped directing them. And even the third one is kind of like off the walls Resident Evil-esque. But if you don't know the Rec films or Quarantine out there, there are some of the really early, well, not early, but 1990s and early 2000s found footage film. And Rec was the one that was set in the apartment building in Spain.
Oh, we reviewed those a while ago. We reviewed those both.
Same director, same writer.
But I will say this, Trevor. I know I've been telling you this quite a few times, and I almost want to pull a wheel off or a movie off the wheel and throw this one on. I know we reviewed it before, but this one here, Trevor, I think you would really,
I have wanted
really
to see
enjoy.
that for a long time.
It is.
This is
awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome. It's another Spanish film. It's in I believe it takes Argentina.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Argentina.
That movie there, oh my god. Like it's
that sounds great. As I said, I've been meaning to watch that. But my to watch list on IMDb, I think, is maxed out to about 1,300 at this point. So,
you know what? Fuck it. I'm making an executive decision. We're doing Terrified next week because I need Trevor to see this movie.
Okay, groovy.
Okay.
I need Trevor to see this movie. Not even spinning the wheel. I'm just saying it now because
the way it is.
It's on Shudder, and listen, it's oh my god, it's just one of those movies that, and I've seen it 2-3 times tops. I've definitely seen it twice. I did it for the pod once before, and I watched it with the wife. Grandizer was good, man. Yeah, it's growing out a little bit. I'm gonna take care of it though at some point. Just been busy. Just been busy. But oh my goodness, that I'm excited for that.
I'm excited you've given me a reason to finally watch.
Hey, listen, I had to because it's one of those films where it's like it's in the back of my mind. Like every time we talk, because we're doing the backpacking series, and we have 2 more weeks left of this, I think. Anyway, I'm like, no, 3 weeks, and I'm like, we have to, because Trevor has to see this movie. Hopefully, Gamer's back next week, and Johnny and Mick. I believe Mick has seen it before, but I don't think Gamer or Johnny has. But it's one of those. It's one of those where you're like, yeah, I'm glad I watched this fucking movie. So, Terrified next week. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm excited.
As I said, Spain has this amazing history in horror. Some of the directors that are best known, and some of them were actually forced out of the country by Franco. Jesus Franco, Jess Franco, is probably one of the most notorious. Eloy La Iglesia is also kind of the creator of a subgenre called the Kiki films, which were like over the top teenage vigilante films. But he made his mark making films like Cannibal Man and there's a film called The Creature he made, but a lot of these horror films that masked an amazing amount of social commentary. And he was one of the few openly homosexual directors working in Spain. So of course you can, well, I mean, he actually made some films that never were shown in Spain that have eventually gotten released here. But as you watch his films, knowing about that, he just pushes it right up there. And it's with horror, with all these things. You know, when you're in a fascist country, you figure out ways to get your movies out and still make some kind of statement. It's like Italy and Spain, both of them, they both had the same thing. Because even though Mussolini was killed and everything, still had a shitty government for a long, long time. So you release a movie, it's a horror movie, but you set it in Britain with mostly British actors, or like, you know, at least one major British actor, and then you release it to the review board, and they're like, well, this doesn't make Italy look bad. You can slip it through that way. But, and that's why you don't see a lot of like Italian or Spanish or sometimes European films that are older that are taking place in the country they're being made in.
Hell
Because
yeah.
it was simple as like, you know, well, they're just making, you know, our country look bad. Okay, let's just change where it is. Okay, that's fine, you know.
Oh, got a question for you from Grandizer.
Oh, hello,
Trevor.
Grandizer.
Trevor, was that director and his movies inspired by the 2000 movie Pan's Labyrinth?
Oh, I think definitely. I mean, that is a film that kind of redefined um how fantasy could be childish yet painfully dark. And I think that's a really good film to ask because Pan's Labyrinth in itself is about a young girl leading into being a teenager, discovering herself and what she's really living through the fantasy of a fable. And this is kind of the same way too, except she's living through her mental illness and her growth and her teenagerdom, being a mother, but also being influenced by everything that's around her.
Mm-hmm.
And in both ways, they kind of they figure things out. But no, Pan's Labyrinth. I'm assuming everybody here has seen Pan's Labyrinth, but
Oh
if you
yeah,
haven't, oh, it's
we did.
Did we review it?
I believe we reviewed it on Popcorn and Pints.
Were you? Well, I know someone wasn't a fan. Did you the one that didn't like it?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay, I thought someone did because the time when I'd seen when that came out, I was like, it reminded me of the Labyrinth in a way, like that fantasy world where you got the fucking monster that the things that talk and shit. You're like, what the fuck? So
Yeah, that's what it was. Pan's Labyrinth.
yeah,
but
so
like real fairy tale and real folklore,
yeah,
there is not just a good side. There's a bad
yeah,
side, and
yeah.
you're a child that has to make decisions that might be good, might be bad, and you don't know if I'm telling you the truth. And
Aaron,
there's
did you ever
all
watch
these
Labyrinth?
fabulous creatures. Yeah, I mean, it is literally a fantasy on film. It is one of the probably will go down as one of the top 100 fantasy films of the 20th century. So yeah, I mean, I think Pan's Labyrinth, you know, in its own way, had influenced cinematographers and directors of horror because, well, too, Guillermo del Toro makes great movies, and also Guillermo del Toro within the industry is constantly the biggest supporter, friendliest human being you will ever meet. So, you know, I know that
Well,
he does like really support Latino directors in various countries in this country, in Mexico especially, because that's where Guillermo's from.
Awesome, awesome. He switched microphones, Grandizer.
How's it now?
Oh, excuse me. If I was to say Trevor,
Okay.
one foreign film that you feel people need to see, what would it be? If you could
Just
pick
a
just one.
film in general or a
Sorry,
horror?
horror foreign film. Sorry. Same for you, James. It could be your favorite horror foreign film, just one that you've seen that you know you've seen, and you're just like, people need to see this. I'm gonna kick it off with The Sadness. That's my shit. That Korean virus/zombie flick.
Mm-hmm.
It is violent, wild. My favorite zombie flick by far, because just how gruesome it is, and it's kind of from when you hear the description of zombies and all that, and you see the different variations of zombies. I expect them to like be violent, and this was a violent horror film. Yeah, this was the one. That is one that I feel people should definitely check out if you're into foreign films and zombie films. That is hands down one I feel like people should really check out. You know, I'm gonna say two because I have another one.
Okay.
I'll say two. What is that? It's a German film.
Cannibal?
Mom,
It's
no, it's
Good Mommy or something like that.
something like that. Let me double check that one. That was a really good film, and that
Good
one I
Night,
don't want
Mommy?
to spoil. Good Night, Mommy.
Not familiar with it.
Is my microphone better?
And they have an American version of that,
Okay.
but which was really good. Don't get me wrong, but the German version was just so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So, Good Night, Mommy is another one I would recommend.
German horror can get pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very
intense,
gory.
and intense.
Intense.
I
Well,
would say
German horror is as
incantation.
intense as it is because you're still dealing with a country that has, emotional trauma
Yeah.
and emotional guilt. So yeah, horror is, you don't see as much horror come out of Germany, but it's there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is.
Because it's a huge metaphor for the past, and also a nation that is coming to grips with what its ancestors did. So yeah, I mean, that's how you get things like George Buntergeit and like the necromantic films and some of the really over the top gore films.
Yeah.
It's almost like a release, not of violence, but almost of putting themselves through the pain of it. So, but
Mm-hmm.
no, German films. I mean, German films in general are awesome.
What about you, gentlemen? Though you guys got some couple foreign movie films?
I would say Incantation. That came out a
Oh,
few years ago.
okay.
Oh, okay. Incantation.
I thought that one was interesting.
We reviewed that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I think I gave that one a high score. I think I gave it like an 8 or a 9. I can't remember.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
really enjoyed it. I liked it. It's like one of those movies you're watching it and they tell you to help them out by saying a chant and shit, and you want to, but then you're like, wait a minute, this is real. I'm not saying this shit. Like, I'm not repeating that.
Oh
So,
yeah. Okay, I remember that now.
Yeah, so I like that one.
I remember that now. You got one for us, Trevor?
I do, but I'm trying to think how. Okay, so I might do two-ish, depends. So I'm gonna look at it from a historic angle. Uh, you just talked about Germany, so you have Dr. Caligari, you have Nosferatu, you have the whole like German expressionist movement. You also have the film M, which is the first like major serial killer film outside of Hitchcock's The Lodger. But the film that I'm sorry, I feel like these are such like major works they need represented. But the one that I'm going to pick was actually by a director who didn't really work in horror, named Carl Theodor Dreyer. Very existential films, but he did a film called Vampire, which
Oh, I know what that.
beautiful, beautiful film. It's actually a sound film, but very, very little sound is utilized in the film. But it also features some of the most iconic imagery that you don't know comes from that movie. Because it's just breathtaking. Where, you know, that would be my one. I'd say, there's one foreign horror film that I
Okay.
think is a great introduction. It will be Theodore Dreyer's Vampire. And it actually has a
Right.
little bit more in common with some of the like Varney the Vampire and stuff like that than with Dracula. That's why it didn't find itself in Lawsuit Hell.
Mm.
It's different than the Dracula
Yeah.
narrative. Yeah. It's different enough.
Grandizer said Mystic and Bally came out.
Great
Mystic and Bally came out in
film.
81.
Susanna's in that. Who is Susanna? Is a particular female actress that became the queen of Indonesian horror, and that's one of her great films. Actually, one second here. I just seem to be able to grab them today. Mystics of Bali. Yes.
Oh,
Damn.
nice.
Great film. Over the top, insane. Just special effects. But with this, and who brought up about Mystics of Bali?
Grandizer.
Grandizer. Okay, cool. There's another film. I'll think of it. But as far as these go, oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take you over to Hong Kong. Have you seen The Boxer's Omen?
The Boxers
No.
Only?
The Boxer's Omen. This is the most insane horror film you will ever see.
What?
It's a Shaw Brothers production. Yeah.
We gotta see it, Aaron.
The Boxer's Omen. That is just as weird, if not weirder, as the Mystics of Bali.
Fuck. I gotta watch it now. I'm so curious about it.
We're gonna, you know what? We'll talk about some stuff behind scenes because I have some ideas for Third Halloween.
Cool.
We may need to have this foreign chapter go a little bit further because.
Well, as I said about, the list I have of must-see films on IMDb, a good 75% of them are available in no way in the United States, legally.
Wow.
Damn.
So that gives you an idea of how much stuff is really out there.
I know. And this is why I want
to see in the crust.
And another reason why I want to take this show on the road. Like, okay, listen, this, that's not in America. We want to watch these and review these and tell people in America about them, and then tease them because I can't see them. But I'm working on it.
Very cool.
I'm working on it. But yeah, this. Oh man, there's something about these foreign films that just. It's so exciting. It's so exciting because, again, I mean, especially when they dive into their culture more, it's like, which I would love to be able to just travel there and see the stuff and, enjoy the food and the atmosphere and the people and the
like
movies.
the picture of the father with the amazingly good-looking paella.
Yes.
Like when she pulls out the picture, the first thing I'm thinking is, damn, that looks like good paella.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so like every time I saw it, that was like the first thing that came to my head. And I watched a few things, and everybody mentioned the paella in the picture. I'm like, okay, good. It wasn't just me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen.
Because he's like literally there, like half him, half the paella in the picture. That
I mean, for me,
offers to the original Seance.
Movies and food go hand in hand. So I'm like, listen, we'll watch some horror movies. We'll eat some great cuisine wherever country we're at. And yeah, we'll watch some films.
Take over a tapas bar and make them watch horror films from their own country.
Yep. And put your clothes on. We don't need no damn distractions.
Talking to me? I mean,
no, not you.
Okay.
No. For to go into a topless bar, I'm like, listen, put your clothes on.
Tapas, not topless.
Oh. I heard. I guess I had selected.
So they tapas are like dim sum, except in Spain. So they're
Oh,
like little, like really fancy appetizers, and you go into a bar. It's a tapas bar, like a dim sum bar, in Asia, and you just go ahead and like, I want this with the quail eggs, and then they'll
okay.
just, yeah. So that's a tapas bar, and they're extremely popular in Spain. That's where they have their roots, and you can find them in the United States. Now, topless bars, you can find them pretty much
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But gives a totally different meaning to where I was going.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
We're going to go to
A
topless bars and make them watch Spanish horror films.
Yep. Either way, we're watching horror movies, and that whatever we're just watching horror movies. Listen, it's gonna be the horror research 30 takeover. Look, put your clothes on, get the food out, clean off that stripper pole.
I was going to say, hold on to the pole and turn on Blind Dead by Armando Ozario and just go with it.
Yep. Just get a big screen in here. We'll get a projector in here. Turn off all them stupid ass lights.
Well,
Use
I mean,
those
if it was a
speakers that you
Jess
guys use.
Franco film, this would all make sense.
Yeah, listen, we're
So,
gonna make it make sense.
Spain, they did produce Jesus Franco. So,
And then you get to sit up on stage where the strippers jump around and dance after and talk about the movie with everybody. Hey DJ, give me the microphone. I got something to say. This episode's going wild, people. It's going wild. But listen, the reason why it's going like that, it's not because the movie was bad. The movie's awesome. It's just we're just thinking of unique things we would like to do if we're traveling. And
oh yeah, it's as I said before, and I did mention some of the people. I made a reference to Armando Ozario. Armando Ozario is kind of an horror auteur when he was really prevalent. Most famous for the Blind Dead quadrilogy. But his film is actually quite influential in zombie movies because it takes the zombie from a historical element of Templar knights that have been blinded for what they do, but if at certain times of the year, or if if their graves are disturbed enough, they come back, and they're literally skeletons in old Templar Knights things who can't see, and they ride horses, and it's so amazingly intense and beautiful, and so distinctly Spanish take on a zombie. The Paul Nassif films are so amazingly fun. Vladimir Daninsky was his werewolf slash heartthrob character for at least 9-10 films about that. And they were really good. And Paul Nassif went on to direct and write other horror films. And as I said, Jesus Franco, Armando Ozario, Eloy de la Iglesia, which I can't push hard enough as far as a director that really is not on. It's on a lot of people's lips, but I don't think it's on enough. And specifically for films like Cannibal Man. So, but okay, another one, Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue. That's a Spanish production. That is also an immensely important zombie film that actually influenced a lot of future zombie films.
Interesting.
And that one actually uses the idea of there's a piece of farm equipment that's being tested to kill insects, and it does it at a certain frequency. Things start going a little bit weird within the area of that frequency, which then leads to the dead coming back to life. And it's really, really awesome. Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, sometimes known as Let Sleeping Corpses Die. That was directed by another gentleman who I cannot leave out, the great Jorge Grau, who just did amazing, amazing horror films like Blood Ceremony. List just goes on and on. But as I said, Spain has a major history in horror cinema. And as I said, it was popular in Spain. Unlike the Italian horror, had to, you know, kind of like it wanted to get out to the other countries where it was more popular. Um, but no, that's and yet again, it's a country that we're still mining all the classic horror films that were made in Spain.
Oh, got another question for you, Trevor.
Yeah.
Okay.
From Grand. Oh, you can see it.
Oh, yay! Nunsploitation films. Okay, so nunsploitation films, kind of like not-sploitation films, live in kind of a strange place. They ended up really being, you know, eaten up by the U.S. populace via VHS rentals. There were certain films that they just were never gonna really get outside of selling them. Like, say, if Arkoff bought the rights to sell to television, and I don't know if you've seen Videodrome or not, but say the owner of that, you know, super small regional television station went, okay, I'll show it. Oh yeah, then okay, that's going to be $75. Okay, so people saw them there, but predominantly nunsploitation and not exploitation. A lot of like the more sexual end of the Jess Franco films were introduced to the United States via VHS. So you're right. Yeah, I mean, nunsploitation was not getting out on televisions. It wasn't something that was showing up in drive-ins per se. But no, it's but that's they were very popular genre, especially nunsploitation. I'm excited for the sequel, which technically is going to be nunsploitation to Veronica, which is called Sister Death. But the thing is, there's some very well-made nunsploitation films. The one that I continue to come back to is this film called Killer Nun, and it is just an amazing character study. But then there's another one from Japan. So this goes into the mystics of Bali and Boxer's Omen thing. So it's a it just lost it here a second. Oh yes, it is a nunsploitation film from Japan from the 1970s called School of the Holy Beast. If you like people tied up, whipped, tortured by other nuns to make sure they hold their bladder, because the torture will get worse if after hours of being beaten, because there's a picture of Christ underneath the titular nun. It's some crazy blasphemous shit, man. But those two, School of the Holy Beast and Killer Nun, are, in my opinion, the high points of nunsploitation. And you got to give a little bit of a shout out to Miss 45, even though it isn't. It uses the imagery of the nun probably better than, you know, any other horror film. So,
Aaron, I smell another wheel.
Yeah. Again, Miss 45.
You could keep making wheels nonstop. I mean, there's enough.
There's enough movies out there for it. There's definitely enough movies out there for it. But yeah, Miss 45. I know. We've seen that.
Oh, it's a great film. Abel Ferrara, who did Driller Killer, but also made Pasolini and the big one was King of New York with Christopher Walken and what's his name from Jade and NYPD Blue, David Caruso, and Lawrence Fishburne.
Nice. See this? This is why he's a professor, people. This man is a wealth of knowledge.
Don't ask me anything pertaining to mathematics, but
well, nobody cares about that. That's what calculators
are
for.
Thankfully.
We got calculators for math. We have other people for the math part, but the movies that everybody knows and loves,
movies and film, movies and music recommendations. I can usually help somebody out. So
see, that's super important. I wish I would have known you when I was in school for my history papers and shit. I'm like, Aaron, who the hell? Where'd you get this information from? Don't worry about it. Just because you've never heard of these people doesn't mean that it's not true. Look it up.
Well, you know, it's actually interesting because I was talking to my daughter a couple times about her English classes and everything, and she is also neurodivergent. And I've been amazed how many teachers will, you know, pick out their students and go, okay, let's do this, but you do it on something you like. You do it from that angle. And if
And
you can do it successfully and still do what is asked of you, mazel tov. And that, for a neurodivergent person, if that was the way in school, I would have been like, oh,
shit, me too. Me too.
like,
Because if you
I'm
really
like,
think, if you think about it though, like you figure out the classes where you have to do a book
Mhm.
report,
yeah,
or you have to do something, you know what I mean, as far as something from a book or just reading material in general. If they let the kids pick what they want to pick, as long as it's a story, even if it's a comic book, that's still an awesome
write
story.
an essay that its point is to do this.
Boom,
However you get there, that is fine, but it has to do this.
boom.
I would have
And
loved it.
instead of here, read this
Mhm.
and do the essay, like, you know, the essay is still the same format as what you're saying, but it's like you have to read this book that
I mean, at least the teachers that my daughter has had really do, you know, embrace creativity. Of course, there have
it,
been ones she's told me about that don't, but that's a
yeah,
school district. It's the
but
way it is.
it
Coaches are coaches for a reason. They shouldn't be teachers.
it helps. It helps, and I feel you're gonna have a lot more people. You're gonna have a lot more students successful when it's like. I mean, you can't do it with every single class, but with the class that you can't do it with,
Mm-hmm.
do it like that. Like, kind of get level with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I mean, I guess I could say, well, I don't even fucking know the reason. Fuck it.
But it's,
The
I
reason.
mean, I just, you know, it always blew my mind why, you know, it's part of the reason, I mean, at least my mother has told me it was, but part of the reason why she left teaching was she couldn't deal with loving something so much. And every time it was just empty faces. It just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And that, which kind of explains a lot of my job history too. But no, it pains me whenever somebody tells me that they've had a teacher or whatever who doesn't try to make the subject interesting for the students within the confines of what they really like.
Honestly, I feel a lot of teachers would enjoy that more too, as far as long as it's
Mhm.
in the structure,
Well, a lot
whatever
of
the
teachers, I
curriculum
mean,
is.
you know, that they, you know, they have their hands tied, or
Yeah.
you know, they don't even know that they necessarily would have the ability or want to shake the status quo
Mhm.
to, you know, not that everybody should go all Jaime Escalante, but you know, those teachers make a difference.
Yes, a huge difference. A huge difference. Again, going back to imagine if you could do a book report or whatever, an essay on whatever book, whatever source material you like to read, or shit, even a movie, as long as, like you said, you hit these points and you really break it down and do it the way you're supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a problem with it because you're still doing the assignment, you're still doing the work, and you're gonna take it a lot more serious. You're really gonna bust your ass and do it and break down, and you're really gonna try.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can speak for myself. A lot of times in school, like when I actually did my work and stuff, I just do it just to get it done. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool, I passed. I didn't give a shit what the grade was as long as I was passing. But it's like if you're doing something to where you care about it, it's like, oh shit, I get to do a book on. I'll just say a horror. Let's just say horror for whatever. That's awesome. Or an essay on horror. Okay, cool. I love this. I know this subject material. Boom. Let me write this up. Let me do this. Let me see what this book or this story, whatever, did for me. Whatever the assignment is, it would be a lot easier to do. And you're, again, like I said, you're gonna try. You're not gonna take any shortcuts. You may take a couple, but not too many shortcuts where it's just like, okay, it has to be 200 words, double space, whatever the case is, and all that other dumb shit. I'm gonna make sure it's exactly that. Versus, holy shit, I didn't even count how many words this is because I'm having
Well,
such a
another
good
thing in the
time.
world of I would
Oh,
think if you were
nowadays.
grading papers, one of the easiest ways to tell if it was done by AI or not is if there's not a flare of personality in the writing that reminds you of that person.
Mm.
And that comes out especially when students feel that their creativity and their voices can be heard on top of what is being taught.
Yeah.
They'd feel guilty about AI because they knew that it wouldn't actually represent them when
Mhm.
the establishment actually cares about them. It's harder, but
Hmm.
oh well.
No, you're right, man. You're right. But
Not sure how we got here, but we did. But
listen, we were all over the place.
Hey, all
At
right.
one
kind of
point,
my whole
at
life,
one point
you
we
know?
were in two. At one point, we were in two different types of bars. We were in a topless bar and a topless bar.
A
Both
tapas and
watching,
a topless.
yes, both
But you could
eating food and
always
watching
get
horror.
tapas from a topless person. Or even better, have a topless/tapas party in which you serve the tapas on people who have, well, on their
Oh,
top part. I don't want to say
yes.
specifically,
I'll
topless
say
is just
no.
breast,
Here,
but
Trevor, tapas on tatas.
yeah,
Boom,
something
we
like
got
that.
it.
Yeah. Kind of like a Spanish food party that
I,
with a little
listen,
bit of eyes wide shut. So
sounds like a good time to me.
oh, it was Kubrick's last film, and it was about a private sex cult. Eyes wide
Cool.
shut. It had Nicole Kidman and also
Yeah, I've seen
had Tom
that.
Cruise, and that was very controversial because a lot of people felt that Tom Cruise couldn't actually pull it off. Well, is it arguable if he did? He's a lot better than anybody expected.
That's awesome, Grandizer. He was saying just
Awesome.
about what we were discussing, how he actually had a teacher that was like that. He said he was never late for her class or anything. That's
Yep.
and again,
Respect comes from respect.
that's what you get. That's what you get because again, you're getting the trying harder. You're getting actually wanting to be in that class, this, that, and the third because it's like they're actually listening to me. They're actually listening to us. They're
Mhm.
actually teaching us and like going to making sure we're paying attention, making sure we're learning, not just here's the book, read it. I'm not saying that that's all they do, but you know what I mean as
Oh
far
yeah,
as the
but
curriculum,
mhm.
that bullshit.
It's very hard because every student, like, and this is why I talk to a lot of people that have issues with management and stuff now. Is you do have to approach everybody as an individual to an extent nowadays. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that. That's that you will, as a manager or a teacher, end up knowing your student more or your
Yeah.
person who works for you more when you finally just go, okay, how how do I feel you are feeling about this?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
No, you're absolutely
You know,
right. And everybody
and
needs it.
that's when you're put in any situation where you're a supervisor or an educator, it's very important that you think about people you're teaching.
Yes. It's
They
super
are
important.
people. They're there to
It's
learn and
super
everything, but they're
important.
people. And if they feel their opinions and everything mean a lot from the beginning, they'll be happier adults.
Very, very true. Very, very, very true. And we're gonna wrap this one up, peeps. But again, listen, next Thursday, Terrified. Check it out, people. It is awesome. Grandizer, if you get a chance to watch it, I say check it out and come hang out with us next week at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And love your insight in the comments and all that great stuff.
Yes, thank you for the questions, Grandizer. That was awesome.
But this movie here, I'm gonna leave this up for a couple more seconds because I really want everybody that's watching this stream or gonna watch it in the near future or whenever you watch it. I want you to see this movie right here because this
Mhm.
is an awesome movie. It's what we'll be talking about next week on Horror Research 30 next Thursday. I'm so excited. I am so freaking excited.
The heat
And
is on. I'm
yes,
assuming I'm going to love this, but
I I think you're gonna. I really do think you're gonna enjoy it. I don't know if
cool.
you'll love it, but I know you'll enjoy it.
Cool.
I can say that. I know you. I
Mhm.
know you will enjoy it. I know you will enjoy it. And here's what's gonna happen, James. So this is gonna be, I think, my third or fourth time watching it. Trevor's gonna come back with so much information about this movie and everything. I come to find out that the director has another dope ass movie or some shit, and I can't. I'm just so excited for all of that. I cannot
Cool.
wait for all of that. And listen, where you're gonna get that is right here, the Sturtle Vision YouTube channel, but the Horror Search 30 podcast every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Next Thursday, 8 o'clock, we'll be back, like I said, for Terrified. Come check us out, the Popcorn and Pine Crew, this Saturday. We got 3 movies. We have a punishment movie, Junior. We have a movie, The Rock, and Digstown. So it's gonna be a fun
Digstown is an
time over there.
awesome movie. The one with Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, that's not the punishment. No, the punishment. There's only one punishment movie. That movie's Junior.
Oh, okay.
The
Because
other two are
Digstown's awesome.
the other 2 are our regular kind of flow when we spin the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But,
Digstown's very underrated. Great film.
make sure you tune in for that, and just come check us out. Come have a good time with us. Have some laughs with us. Grandizer, Scene Sobs, love you guys in the comments. Love you guys showing up. Had a great time with you guys in the comments. Grandizer, appreciate you. Scene Sobs, appreciate you. Everyone watching, appreciate you all. Whether you're watching live or watching later or listening later, thank you. Appreciate it. That said, I'll see you in your nightmares. Peace. Watch